Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Raimundo Morales, and I am a marketing specialist here at Study in the USA, and I will be moderating today's session. We're delighted you joined us for today's topic, what liberal art means and the value of a degree in liberal arts. As we wait a few moments for more students to join us, we wanted to ask everybody watching, what comes to mind when you hear the word liberal arts? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. As many of you might know, today's discussion is the latest installment in our favorite series, My Dream, My Education, presented in partnership with TOEFL. To catch up on our past student success stories, feel free to browse our Study in the USA and TOEFL Facebook pages. We're honored to have with us today Greer Henderson, an international admissions counselor at Knox College, and Angelo Fattore, an assistant director of international enrollment at Moravian University. We'll be taking an in-depth look at the world of liberal arts. Now, before we begin, we want to announce that there is an amazing, exciting opportunity for both you and a friend. Share this live session on your Facebook page and tag a friend for a chance to win a $25 Visa gift card. If you win, your friend will also receive a $25 gift card. Make sure to stay to the end of the session as we'll be announcing the winners at the end. Also, stay tuned for our Q&A at the end of the session. If you have any questions, please place them in our chat and we'll be answering them shortly. Either one of our guests or one of the TOEFL moderators overseeing this chat will be answering them. For those of you who are just joining us, let me reintroduce myself. I am Raimundo Morales, and I'll be guiding today's conversation. Today, we're discussing liberal arts with two individuals deeply rooted in international education. Greer, your passion for global education has led you to your role as an international admissions counselor at Knox College. Can you please tell us a little bit more about yourself and what inspired you to become such a dedicated advocate for cross-country understanding and global education?
Sure. Thank you, Raimundo. I'm happy to be here, y'all. So it's lovely to be involved in this. So let's go ahead and get started. So I've kind of always been interested in other cultures. Travel was definitely a big part of that as well. But even in high school, all of my friends were foreign exchange students. And even my best friend and her family had immigrated from the Netherlands to start a dairy farm in small town Iowa, where I grew up. So I really loved connecting with people who are different from me, learning about their food, their culture, their politics, and hearing languages as well that are new to me. So I think there's just so much to gain from having deep conversations about culture and sharing those moments. It really builds empathy. So I think that is what really pushed me to forge a path in global education, and it's something that certainly helps me across my current role as an international admissions counselor at Knox College.
Thank you for that introduction and welcome. Angelo, your impressive background reveals a deep connection with international education, business, and relations. Can you share with us a little bit more about your journey and what inspired you to work across different continents and cultures?
Thanks, Ray, and thanks for having us here today. It goes back really to my high school days. I grew up in a small town. I wouldn't say that small of a town, but a small town where not a lot of people leave. And I wanted to go explore the world. I wanted to have kind of my Indiana Jones moment and go see different cultures and see different places and meet different people. And it just kind of led me to this journey. I was able to work overseas, study overseas, and I wanted to kind of impart that to other people. I wanted to show them that you can do it. You can go to different countries and have a educational experience. So yeah, I'm excited to be here today and share more.
Thank you, Angelo. That is wonderful and truly inspiring you from both of you, if I may say so myself. A liberal arts education is not just about a degree, though. It's an experience that shapes our perspective and skills. Angelo, could you please start by shedding some light on the essence of liberal arts?
Yeah, definitely. In my personal and professional opinion, I both went to and work at now a liberal arts institution. It's the ability to, in my view, to critically think. In a liberal arts education, you're going to have a curriculum that spans different subjects and different topics, from our social sciences to more the hard sciences and everything in between. And it's going to give you the ability to think outside of just a single lane area. Instead of going to a specific subject school, you're going to have a wide range of topics, and kind of a core then major. That's the essence of liberal arts to me.
That is a great way to look at it. Greer, if you may add, what is the essence of liberal arts to you?
Sure. Yeah. So I think liberal arts colleges do a great job of focusing on general and intellectual development, right? So it's challenging students to write both analytically and expressively. Definitely that critical thinking aspect is super important that Angelo mentioned. And then also just encouraging students to ask questions and be curious about all different topics and disciplines that are offered. So it provides a very well-rounded interdisciplinary education, and it also is a very personalized academic experience, I think. And so that kind of personalized aspect of it really is what helps build a community. And I think that's what, when we get down to the root of it, that's kind of the essence of liberal arts, right? Is building that community. It's a smaller institution, allows you to kind of really get to know your professors, and they get to value you as an individual. And then that is able to really help you be recommended for a kind of a very personalized experience, both within and outside the classroom. So.
I would agree with you both. And in today's interconnected world, the value of a liberal arts and education helps individuals navigate our interconnected global environment. Given both of your personal and professional experiences, could you elaborate a bit more on the unique value of a liberal arts education? Angelo, we can start with you.
Sure, absolutely. Along with I think, and Greer hit it on, she made a great point and hit it on the head, is that it's that more that personalized education experience is what you're going to get. These liberal arts schools are more smaller schools. They are not large 20,000 students institutions. If you want to go do that and go see a major football game on a Saturday afternoon, it's probably not the institution you're looking at. At a more of a liberal arts education, you're going to get that small one-to-one attention that the larger schools aren't going to be able to offer you. You're also going to learn outside of the classroom as much as you're going to learn inside of the classroom with your faculty members and your peers. You're going to be able to join clubs and organizations and have professional experiences such as internships and externships to be able to supplement your education. Those things are especially important today in today's world of change, as much, as we say, interconnected with them. So.
Wonderful. Greer, would you like to add
Sure, yeah. So the main thing I kind of want to touch on, and Angelo did a great job at explaining as well, kind of what we're all about, right? But is that we provide kind of a unique opportunity to explore other opportunities in classes that may not always be what you had planned for yourself. So it may seem a little bit counterintuitive if you're really like set on a specific career, a very niche option for yourself, but you just hear me out, okay? So liberal arts colleges, we typically require students to have general education courses, right, that build on your existing kind of strengths and talents, but they kind of push you to new levels of achievement that really empower you to engage in your communities and be really active outside, like as you move on through your career, right? So you may not see, for example, like the value of taking a psychology class if you are a computer science person, right? But doing that work and kind of learning about that subject and how that material relates to you and what you're interested in is invaluable. And even if the only thing you take away from like that psychology class is that it's not for you, or that you maybe just, it's not what you're wanting to do, it still gives you a baseline sense of that subject. And you can definitely use that to your advantage when applying for jobs and internships, and in relating to people later on. So now you have like a newfound respect for psychology, even though that's not necessarily what you want to put yourself in later on, just to kind of give you a sense of what we're all about here.
Yes, I agree. I think the key words here for liberal arts are personalized, unique, and broad. And I bet many of the people watching, many of the students watching are wondering what type of careers can a student actually obtain with this type of liberal arts degree?
So
Whoever is welcome to answer.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'll go for it. At Moravian University, we've had students end up in anywhere. And with any type of liberal arts institution, you don't, well, your options are endless. We've had students end up at ESPN, at Tiffany's, at major corporations, starting with degrees in English, not even in a business degree, starting with degrees totally in the social, based in the social science, history. It doesn't limit you. It offers you more, like I've started the program, more the ability to critically think, which employers are looking for today. Excuse me. One thing we do at Moravian is we have our Elevate program, which assigns a student a career development strategist. So you're going to be working with a career development strategist, somebody from your freshman year, and that's going to work with you freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year to get you placed in the career you want. So we're very career focused, as we say, we can put you as you're kind of studying all these different topics, we're going to help you work on that career.
That is very interesting. Greer, do you have anything that you would like to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I completely second that. Students with a liberal arts education can absolutely do anything. So all the skills that they're taking away from that education are very transferable across so many different disciplines and career paths. And even everything that you're doing like outside of the classroom, like maybe you're a resident assistant for your dorm, or you lead a club, or you're doing volunteering on the side. All of that is meant to kind of enhance your educational experience. And it's very accessible for students, especially at some of these smaller liberal arts institutions. So you might not realize when you're doing it, how important all the subjects and classes that you're taking are in the moment. But kind of after engaging in conversations with for example, like at Knox, our career center, or our like advising team that you'll have, you'll really kind of understand how much you've really gained, and you'll leave here with the confidence to pursue that degree in medicine, or go on to grad school, or get that internship. And I think that's what it's all about, right? We're setting students up for success, and a very by really working on those skills that maybe other colleges haven't taken into consideration as much.
Yes, amazing. Now, for everyone watching, this is a question for you. If you're thinking of studying a liberal arts degree, what type of careers do you hope to pursue after obtaining this degree? Please let us know in the comments below. Now, this is a question for both of you all. But liberal arts education covers a broad spectrum, as we were saying. How do colleges ensure programs are still aligned with specific career trajectories?
So I can start on this one. So I think one way that liberal arts colleges in general are able to help students like map out their paths as we have a really great advisory program. So for example, upon entering Knox, students are paired with an academic advisor who helps them kind of figure out which classes make the most sense for them based on their goals. So it's extremely personalized. And it's so much so that like even for your majors, any majors you have, any minors you have, and any pre-professional tracks. So if you're like trying to also do pre-med or pre-law, at Knox, you have an advisor for each of those different tracks or courses that you're doing. And then on top of that, we do have a really amazing career center that's really helping kind of leverage all those skills that students are learning and letting them realize kind of what their potential really is for after Knox as well.
Exciting. Angelo, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the biggest aspects of liberal arts colleges and universities and smaller types of universities is their alumni networks. They have very tight-knit groups of individuals who are willing to take that coffee chat to have you to their company for an externship or internship, and for you to get that taste, that experience of what it's going to be like in that potential career field. That's what I found at Moravian as when I was a student. And those experiences are gonna, either say, yes, this is the field I want to be in, or no, and I don't want to do this. And that's okay, because your major and your interest is probably going to change at least 4 or 5 times. So really tap into those alumni networks, tap into the career center events that your institution may have. They are going to be able to help you set up a successful time at university.
Amazing. Seems like there's a lot of network and resources that really help students achieve their goals. And now we can dwell into the world of college admissions for liberal arts. How would you say that liberal art colleges evaluate applications? And are there any specific considerations for international students? Greer, would you start with you?
Sure, yeah. So we take a very holistic approach, which really sets us apart from larger public institutions. So at Knox, we actually look at the whole student, right? Not just the academics. We want to know kind of what you're passionate about, what you're interested in, and like what kind of research, volunteer work, everything that you've kind of been involved in. We will read your essay, we'll look at your recommendations, we're going to look at everything. We're going to look at your English proficiency. In fact, everything that you submit is something that I, as a counselor, will see. So it's even that's a little bit different sometimes from other liberal arts colleges, because they're like sometimes readers are involved or application readers are involved, but I'm actually the application reader, the interviewer, and the representative of the school. So we wear a lot of hats to ensure that we can make the most informed decision possible about each student, and whether or not Knox is a good fit.
Wonderful. I think it all goes back to this word personalized.
Yes.
Love it. Angelo, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, again, you're kind of got it right in the head. The holistic viewpoint is so important, especially at a smaller institution. I think one thing that I make sure of my students is they are meeting those English language proficiency scores. I do not want to, and to me, it's an ethical thing to bring a student into the country that is not prepared to speak English. It's just not. I know a lot of students want to come. It's a daily thing. It's almost a safety thing to me. So to be able to make sure they're prepared to have those conversations academically and socially will increase their experience, at a liberal arts school in the United States.
Thank you. Now, Greer, there's a question I am looking forward to hear your answer from, especially knowing that you take a look at all of the people's applications. What would you say are the key components of a competitive application?
Okay, sure. So at Knox, a competitive applicant would be somebody who does well in school, academically, they have nice recommendations, top English proficiency scores, of course, and then somebody who's done, I think, a little bit of research about what they're really wanting for their education. Because if you show me even just a little bit of knowledge about Knox and like your interest, it goes a really long way. It lets me know that you've at least visited the website, maybe clicked around just a bit, something, it doesn't even have to be anything big. Maybe you just know that you want to study multiple subjects, and that's a requirement at Knox. Actually, you have to have 2 courses of study at Knox. So even something small like that lets me know, okay, this could be a good fit for my institution. This could be a top scholarship winner. We can do this. We can make this work. So those kinds of things really go a long way for me. And it's extra little oomph to your application if you can show me that you're excited enough to talk about Knox on your own accord a little bit. So,
thank you, Greer. That is great insight. Angelo, from your perspective, what are some key components to a competitive application?
Yeah, again, I fully agree with Greer. The other piece I would like to add is when we're having Zoom conversations and WhatsApp conversations is your questions. We want you to as you're doing your research, ask those questions with us, have conversations with us outside of it, maybe a scheduled interview. It continues to push your interest up the line. At Moravian, we've had a ton of applications come through this year. A lot of our counselors in the international field are one-person offices. So the more they may see your name come up, the more they know that you're interested. It's a competitive applicant pool that comes through. So the more you kind of put your name out there and show your interest, the more we're going to be interacting with you throughout your time.
Thank you. There's some wonderful knowledge to have. Now, what feedback or opportunities for improvement does the admissions office provide for students who are not admitted?
So at Moravian, one thing we do is we find students that may have good grades, but don't meet our English language proficiency requirement. So one thing we do is we offer them a pathway. There's always a way to get to Moravian. It may not be right away. So we offer them a pathway through our local community colleges. They have opportunities in their English language institutes and their ESOL programs to be able to have you trained up on your English proficiency. And then we work on a transfer pathway for you to get to Moravian. This allows students to come to the United States through to their local community college, and then move forward into a bachelor's program at a 4-year institution.
Oh, that is amazing. Having a clear pathway and somebody to guide you to get to that is always of help. Greer, would you like to add anything on top of that?
Yeah, so I think the best feedback I can really give in those situations is just to reach out to us, to your admissions counselors. It's definitely going to differ based on the institution that you're applying to, but at Knox, a lot of the deciding factors will, come down to your academic achievement and program and rigor. And our main priority is just to ensure that you're a good fit for Knox, and that Knox is a good fit for you, right? So we want to know that you'll be able to succeed here on campus, kind of just echoing what Angelo had said. So it's possible that something on your transcript or your essay might have caused us to be wary of whether Knox is a right fit for you. So if you are like so stone set on coming to like a specific liberal arts institution, and you have something that you could add or that could really help maybe change our minds or add like a supplement to your application, it doesn't hurt to reach out and just ask us. But it's just important that, you know, keep in mind that we're also open, that you're also open to hearing our feedback, because at the end of the day, we're not trying to discourage you or stop you from applying. We just want to make sure that it's all about fit, and whether you know are going to be a good match, right?
Amazing. Thank you both for your insight. Now, before we transition onto our next topic, here is a friendly reminder to everybody watching us about our exciting offer. Share this live session on your Facebook page and tag a friend for a chance to win a $25 Visa gift card. If you win, your friend also wins a $25 Visa gift card as well. We'll announce the lucky recipients at the end of the discussion. The job market is ever changing, and with these shifts come questions about the value and relevance of a different educational backgrounds. It's not just about having a degree anymore. It's about leveraging that education for a viable and rewarding career. Greer, how will you say that liberal arts graduates are positioning themselves in today's job market? And what unique strengths do they bring to the table? And how can they best market these skills?
So I think liberal arts students have a lot to offer, and I'm not just saying that because I am one. We definitely have, you know, unique perspectives surrounding our varied interests, and more employers, I think, are seeing the value of a liberal arts education. So when students kind of enter the job market or go to graduate school, they're going with a lot of confidence, and it's a lot of direction as well, that just they don't want to compromise some of their passions, right? So maybe you've taken, for example, like I was an art student as well as a Spanish student, as well as an education student. And I still, everywhere I go, I try and find, you know, a studio that I can do some work in, or, and I'm not compromising that side of my life, despite, you know, chasing this educational career as well. So I think students are becoming, they become innovative leaders, and they are really trying to pursue those passions as well. But they're doing things like studying abroad, managing research, completing internships, asking questions, leading clubs, organizations, all of that. And that kind of helps them become successful, ready to kind of take on anything after graduation. So yeah, specifically at Knox, we do have, I'll highlight it again, our amazing Career Center. And that actually helps students kind of leverage all of those different things, activities, classes, whatever it might be, to get those internships and jobs. And actually, one of the great things about Knox is that we offer that that is continued support that will not stop after they graduate. So actually 10, 20 years in the future, if students find themselves needing help with, you know, structuring their resume, or figuring out how to word something, or they just like want to find a job and they don't know where to start, they can come back or start a Zoom call with our Career Center, and we can help them still find a position that works for them and makes sense for them.
Oh, that is great. Students showcase their English skills through the TOEFL IB test, but proficiency serves students far beyond admission. Angelo, drawing from your experiences, how pivotal would you say the TOEFL IB test is in building the foundation for success in a liberal arts environment?
Yeah, I think one of the really cool pieces of the liberal arts, I mean, of the TOEFL IBT is, from an admissions point, is that we're able to hear them have the conversation. Those little snippets are really important. It kind of gives us a little bit of insight on their proficiency. And two, the different indicators and metrics on the exam allow us to say and go to our academic teams and say, hey, the student, it meets our standard overall, but here's where they lower, we're a little bit lower. Can we focus in on their writing a little bit? Can we focus in on maybe their reading aspects a little bit more? So having those breakdowns is really, really helpful for us.
Greer, can you elaborate on how TOEFL scores play a role in assessing the readiness of an international student for a liberal arts program at Knox College?
Sure, yeah. So I think TOEFL does a great job with helping to gauge students' readiness, specifically in helping to prepare them for all the writing assignments. Also, Knox is very discussion-based in their learning kind of style. So all the learning environments require a lot of discussion and just a lot of being present and being engaged in the classroom. So I think when I look at a application and I see that they have high achieving TOEFL scores, I know that there's a good chance that this particular student will be able to step up and be engaged in those important class and campus-wide discussions.
That is very true. That is always valuable to be able to partake in those type of activities. Now, future TOEFL test takers in the house, everybody watching us at home, this is a quick question for you. Which area of liberal arts are you most interested in exploring? Please let us know in the comments below. Now, Angelo, in terms of cultural and language adaptability, how do you think the TOEFL IB test helps to bridge the gap for international students in a liberal arts college?
Yeah, I can, talk on my personal experience and, kind of to second what Greer has said. I've been working, with students across probably almost a dozen different types of testing and waiver options that we have at Moravian. And what I see from my TOEFL students is they do rank higher in forms of English language proficiency. So compared to other competitors in the market, TOEFL applicants do better.
Great, amazing. Now, Greer, can you share any success stories of international students at Knox College who've successfully leveraged their TOEFL scores to excel in their liberal arts journey?
Sure, yeah. So maybe this one is just one that's very particular to me because I just started this position back in January. So I'm fairly new to admissions in general. But this is a student that I have had close communication with and I know is a TOEFL person. But he was from Nepal and last year he applied for admission to Knox for this fall. And he took the TOEFL and he leveraged those scores and all of the other outstanding work that he had done and actually was awarded the highest scholarship that Knox offers to international students that we have through a scholarship partnership foundation in India. So yeah, he recently sent me a really nice check-in message and it just reminded me that yeah, we do have some really great student leaders around campus, specifically ones that have taken the TOEFL. And yeah, he let me know he's involved in lots of clubs and extracurriculars. He just got a job on campus. So he's starting to become a very engaged and active leader on Knox's campus. And I'm really happy to kind of rave about him, but
Oh wow, that is great to hear and very encouraging. The evolving world demands adaptability and global awareness, qualities deeply rooted in liberal arts. Angelo, what's the future vision for liberal arts education? How do you envision it adapting to the 21st century needs?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Ray. So Moravian University's mission statement is that our liberal arts education prepares each individual for a reflective life, fulfilling career, and a transformative leadership in a world of change. A world of change is in our mission statement, and something that our president and our administration takes, and everybody at the institution takes very seriously. The world is going to continue to change, as we see with the adaptation of more AI and more and different skills needed to in the labor market. It's not going to stop. What the liberal arts curriculums, from what I've seen, is and what we what's happening at Moravian is we are continuing to have those critical thinking classes, those social science classes, which are important, but we're also starting to integrate more skill opportunities through our business programs, through our education programs and nursing programs. So I see a continued pairing of the liberal arts and the hard sciences also, and that's going to continue to grow. Also, I had another note written down, is that you're going to, one thing, in being what a liberal arts institution is going to teach you is you're going to be a lifelong learner. And the world is, like I said, the world's going to continue to change, and that you're going to need to reskill yourself continuously. So what you've learned today, hopefully is going to help you in a career in the next 5 to 10 years, but your career is going to change probably 3 or 4 times. So continuing to reskill yourself. And thirdly, and the last thing, and what I'll add to this is that the liberal arts schools and these smaller schools are going to teach you the soft skills you need. Yes, learning AI and analytics is extremely important, but if you're not able to communicate, if you're not able to have empathy towards others, your levels of success are probably going to vary a lot more than those who are engaging in the softer skills also.
That is very true. And a world of change, I really like that quote, because as they say, the only constant in this world is change. So now, Greer and Angelo, we've reached the conclusion of our session. Thank you so much for joining us today and offering such invaluable insights about liberal arts. Do you have any concluding words of wisdom for students considering studying abroad?
I can start. So I guess I just want to challenge everyone who's watching to really ask yourself what you want to get out of your college experience, right? So what kind of sets you apart from your close friends and your community, or what are your values? What are things that you love about your high school? What are some things you might want to change about that? All of those are really great questions to kind of help you self-reflect a little bit and find out what is most important for you during your college search. So maybe that looks like a small liberal arts institution. We would love to see all of your applications, but it's okay if it doesn't. But that is something that it's just something to consider, and definitely finding out more about yourself and asking those kind of tough questions are what's really going to help you make your decision later on.
Amazing. Angelo?
Yeah, I'd say one thing, from my personal experience in studying abroad and working as a professional overseas in kind of going through these adventures, is to take the risk and to take the opportunity. Even if you come, Greer and I work a lot with our F1 students. Even if you come on exchange for a J1, take the opportunity and come explore the United States, come explore what it's like to be a college student here, and have the grit, show the grit to do it. To be a student in a different country, to be anybody in a different country takes a lot of grit. But we're here to support you. all of the counselors, all the international counselors and enrollment officers around the country are here to help support you with this.
Thank you both, and that is some wonderful insight. Now we reached the part of the session that I bet many of the students are waiting for. We can open up the Q&A for this session, and we promise to try to get through as many questions as we can. Let's see what question we have here. We have a question from Malbarak Adam Musa. It says, what exactly are liberal arts schools? What are the differences between them and ordinary classes?
I'll take it. I'll start, Greer.
Okay, no worries.
So thanks, Abdul, for your question, or thanks, Mubarak, for your question. It's really going to depend on what you want in your experience. Our liberal arts institutions are going to be smaller schools that offer more, as we've talked about, more of these critical thinking, analytical classes rather than a larger state or major national institution, which may offer more of a singular career path or singular academic path, where the liberal arts is going to be more spread out through different topics. Greer, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, sure. So I guess you could kind of going along that same path, right? So we're offering a really broad kind of education in terms of you get to choose kind of different classes within different parts of like different disciplines. For example, like you might have a critical thinking class that's kind of geared more within history, and then you would have a class that's maybe more quantitative, so you have to take a math class and a science class, and so you have these general kind of classes you have to take. We call them gen eds or general requirements, and those ones are kind of specific to all students, right? So all students have to take those, but then you would also have your separate track where you're kind of taking your major classes, you're taking your minors, you're doing whatever kind of you want to do for your actual pathway to get to your career goals, right? So one thing that's really unique about liberal arts colleges is that they actually give you the option to be a little bit more flexible. You can change your major. You can change your major more than once, even sometimes. If you're on the kind of verge of being undecided, or you're very curious about many different things, a liberal arts education could be just what you're looking for. So that's, I guess, kind of where I'll leave you. There's so much that goes into it, and I'm sorry I can't give you a 100% this is clear, because all of us differ a little bit. But yeah, definitely do your research and look into that a little bit more. And then one last thing I'll just say about some larger institutions is sometimes you'll be stuck if you decide kind of right now that you're in computer science, you want to be in computer science. If you get admitted to some larger institutions for a computer science degree, you may not be able to flip that later on. You would have to actually re-enroll, reapply to other programs, which I don't think is always advertised among some of those larger institutions. So that's kind of where I'll leave you. But yeah, definitely check us out.
Thank you both. Here we have another question from Beatrice Silva. What guidance does the university offer for students' visa process?
Sure. So and Greer kind of mentioned this in her last comment, is that all institutions are set up differently, especially our smaller institutions are. At Moravian, what we'll be doing on the admissions end is completely just working on admissions. We're helping you with your applications through the acceptance process. At Moravian, then we have an amazing Center for Global Education that works on that immigration side. So they'll be working with you on submitting your certificate of finance and your bank statements and preparing your I-20 to go and have your visa appointment. So we have a whole separate office and support system that handles our international students and scholar services.
Amazing. Great.
Yeah, similar to Angelo, we have an entire office for international student services. They will do, mock interviews for you if you're needing practice for those visa interviews. They'll let you know kind of when you need to start having that application. They'll be the ones who kind of divvy out your I-20 forms, let you know everything. But yeah, a lot of support is given out to our students. And if you have any questions about that later on, feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to kind of let you know more.
Yes, you're right. They could always reach out to the school, TOEFL, to study in the USA, and we're here to help. There's many resources available. Let's see if we have any other questions. Have either of you ever had a student switch to pursuing liberal arts from a different degree? And what led them to that decision?
So, so one thing that's kind of different, when we're saying liberal arts, I should have kind of started with this, I guess. When I'm saying I work at a liberal arts institution, it doesn't mean that all we focus on is arts. It's actually, the long name for it is a liberal arts and sciences institution, right? We just cut that off for simple, like making it shorter, because it's a kind of a mouthful. But yeah, so you can be in psychology and also have a major in art. You can be in theater and also do a major in biology. It's very common. My colleague who went to Knox actually transferred from an international studies major to a art major, and then to a Spanish major, and then back to like an environmental studies major. So there's lots of opportunities for you to switch between different degree programs or different kind of courses or tracks that you want. It's also really easy to, maybe you're interested in doing psychology and you just want to add a minor because you haven't really explored like creative writing at all, and you just want to see what that's like. You can easily add that to your course kind of track as well, and get a minor or another major in something else. It's very easy to do that at a liberal arts college.
Thank you. Angelo?
Yeah, I think one of the cool things about liberal arts institutions is their flexibility and their ability to create. One of the things that we like to boast about is if you have an interest in something that we don't have and we have the classes to do it, we can create a major for you. We've had a couple dozens of those over the last few years. So if it can range from anything, but if you think, if you dream it, you can build it. So or we can help you build it. So come with your ideas, come with your interests, and we can get you there. And like you said throughout the presentation, you're gonna change your major 4, 5, 6 times, and that's okay. It is totally normal. And there are advisors and support systems in place to get you through those decisions.
Thank you, Angelo. Man, this really gets me thinking about myself. Like, I wish I understood and knew what liberal arts was when I was going through this process. Maybe I would have done a bit of more research. Now, I think there's the last one that we have. What is the most common student question about a degree in liberal arts? And how would you answer it?
Go ahead, Greer.
I say the most common question is probably, what is a liberal arts degree? And I think we answered that one.
Yes.
So yeah, I would say that one. Also the majors, how often can you switch your major? That's a big one too. Yeah, I would say those two are kind of the top questions I get. What about you, Angelo?
I would agree with that. I think the other top question I get along just the spectrum of questions is about scholarships. So as students are looking at scholarships, our institutions are a little different than state-run institutions and larger nationally run institutions. So take a look at their websites. All of them rank their scholarships differently. International students, may find it a little more difficult at some institutions. So please reach out to your counselors to figure that out a little more.
Well, thank you both. I think that is it for the for the questions that we have from our students. If anybody watching has any other questions that they might have or might want to ask personally, they could reach out directly to Moravian University, Knox, Study in the USA, TOEFL, and we are here to help. It's been truly an insightful discussion. A big thank you to you, Greer and Angelo, for sharing your expertise and personal stories to illuminate the path for prospective students. To all the participants, your engagement has made the session a vibrant space for learning. I also like to thank the TOEFL team for making this session possible. Once again, thank you all for being here and being part of this conversation. We hope to see you again in our upcoming session. Safe travels on your academic adventures. Also, remember, stay tuned as we announce the winner of the Study in the USA $25 Visa gift card in the comments. If you win, your tagged friend on Facebook will also receive a $25 Visa gift card. Please be sure to follow TOEFL and Study in the USA on social media to take advantage of valuable resources for your study abroad journey. Well, once again, Greer and Angelo, thank you for being here, and thanks everyone for assisting. Hope you had a wonderful day.